I wanted to talk a little bit about the patch today, actually. The biggest thing about this patch for Tuco for me, I think a lot more of the roster feels playable. And like the biggest offender is Teemo, but the rest of the characters all feel pretty comparable. I think you can play whoever you want. It seems pretty clear that January is like a lot of their focus because these two patches that they've released have been pretty small. You guys know I was like 800 LP, which was Challenger, but then I didn't play throughout the whole slam basically, right? So I was like, all right, let's do it. Let's do the climb. Let's play a bunch of ranked in this new patch, right? I actually fought so many different characters. I did not fight a lot of Yasuo Echo at all. The shit I lost to was definitely not Yasuo Echo. I lost to some fuck ass shit. I think the character I fought the most against was Ahri. And I think the second most played character I fought against was Blitzcrank somehow. I don't know why. I fought so much Yasuo Blitzcrank, Ahri Blitzcrank. I would say the team I fought against the most is probably Ahri Vi or Ahri Yasuo. The other thing is I fought way less Echo. Also, every Ahri player drops every combo now because of the changes to the dive. I don't even know if I really like her orb super change because I feel like it didn't change anything about the combos. Like they all do like relatively similar damage. It's just a little clunkier now, which I don't know what the intent of the change was, but yeah. I saw a lot of people just doing all kinds of wacky team specific shit that I don't think I would have saw before. Like you can tell that people are settling in and like finding some shit with their teams and like sort of optimizing a lot more. I ran into a lot of people with like tighter pressure or tighter setups or like interesting combos or interactions with both of their characters and like using the kits of both characters more often. People are definitely a lot more creative than the last time I was playing ranked. And every Yasuo Echo player I ran into was not doing anything real at all. They were just like playing both characters independently. They weren't really doing anything that scary. I think most people now I fought are like doing much better stuff and they're playing different characters, which is cool. I also ran into a lot of double down teams that are clearly built on like I hit your character once and just instantly kill them every time. I ran into a lot of like Vi Warwick or like Darius Vi or Darius Warwick or whatever, right? Like different variations of teams like that, Blitzcrank Darius, where like their whole purpose was like hit you with a 5M and TOD you with double down. That was a lot scarier. I'm curious what they're actually going to end up doing because my opinion on a lot of the characters has changed quite a bit. This Ahri character, they said that they might nerf her slightly. If I had to guess where the nerf would be targeted, I think her damage actually is maybe too high on super confirmed still. She has like some of the higher damage in the game. I think in neutral, that super is also really crazy, yeah. These two characters are probably the two weakest overall, I would guess. Both weakest, both bold. I don't know what I would do to them though, because like, I don't think either of these characters feel weak. As someone who plays a lot of Braum for fun, I think he feels quite good. And I think the worse Yasuo gets, the better he feels, but Yasuo is still everywhere, so it's hard to say. This character is insane with double down. He has so much guaranteed untech stuff that like just works at really high hit stun. You tag in this guy, you do headless, and then you hook them, you just do 900 from everything. You just kill a character from every hit. If Teemo wasn't Thanos, this character I think is really scary. That matchup's just a little tough for him, but he's really good in this version, I think. I think this character also feels a lot more reasonable. I'm sad that his assist got nerfed, and it actually just made him want to play 2x assists more. I don't play 2x assists with this character. The power level of the assist going down meant that having 2 of a worse assist is better than having 1 of a worse assist. You know what I mean? 2x Time Winder is still really stupid. And then this character is very good in this version. You all know. She's good with a lot of characters too. I think this character needs a quality of life pass more than any other character in the game. She has just so much stuff that feels really clunky. I hate the minigun interaction as the offensive and defensive player. I think her 2M whiffing also feels really bad. She's weird. This guy needs his bugs fixed and I don't even know what after that. This character is so good in this version. Also works with like every character. Sorry, I said this character. Ahri, she's good with Darius, Echo, Alawi, Jinx, probably Teemo, and Warwick. And Yasuo is maybe. Warwick is also very good in this version. I think even without his bugs. I've decided that he doesn't need quality of life. He's just boring as fuck. And the less you try to do anything besides 5M and overhead, the more success you'll have. He basically just has 2 moves. If you forget about the rest of his kit, you will have way more success. I also saw Diaphone made a video about it, and I was gonna watch his video, a little react content. Diaphone passionately ranting about 2x KO balance philosophy for 15 minutes. Thoughts?
I feel like balance patches have been getting worse and worse. Broski recently tweeted this. Would be nice if we could find a middle ground between getting
Why is it
through a loop
rippling
for 3 years straight and having to relearn combo routes every month.
This is true. The thing about Tuco changing combo routes is they said in the beginning, hey, we're gonna like update lots of shit now during like this first early access ship. If we change everything now, it's way better than changing everything 6 months down the line, 10 months down the line, 18. I mean, I'm sure some stuff will change, but like I think it does make sense if you're gonna change shit to change it now. As a Soul player, I empathize with having to relearn your fucking combos every single patch.
And I hate to pick on 2xgo, but I think they're the most likely developers to actually do this correctly. So yeah, it's time to rant.
The thing about Tuco is that it's the game where you know they're gonna hear you, and also the most open about what they're doing. Whereas every other game, no one's hearing that shit. Your words are not reaching these places, for better or for worse. Lots of suggestions people make, myself included, are not always good for the health of the game or in general. Sometimes they're like, nope, this is what we want this to be. Even if you don't like it, sorry.
So this is the most recent patch from 2xgo 1.0.3.
Yasuo
and I think it does a
changing.
few things actually really well. Echo, Teemo, and Yasuo gets nerfs. These are the 3 characters by far that need the nerfs in the game. That being said, I don't like how they're doing some of what they're doing. Ahri has one change.
This change didn't end up really
reduced her
mattering.
combo length. We now have new optimal Ahri routes. They're still quite long. You still can link a super after a combo. You just have to do 2S2 instead of 6S2, right? And a little different extension. So like, to me, some of these nerfs just feel like they're just inconveniencing players.
I don't know what their intention was for this. Most combos damage is like pretty similar. I feel like it doesn't affect any good players' combos really. If that's what the intention was, it didn't really do it.
A different combo. The combo basically does the same thing. Imagine this.
This change broke all my new BNBs. Yeah, I mean, that is annoying.
Just like every single patch, the last 4 or 3 patches, Yasuo has had to adjust his combos.
This Yasuo shit changing is annoying if you play Yasuo for sure. I think the 2H nerf is a band-aid to me because it nerfs it in neutral, but it also makes Hop a little weaker because like when they 2H after Hop, sometimes mid-screen, it's harder for him to chase you. This character in general, his nerfs are just not correct. I think he should have really good neutral and really good mix-ups and stuff like that. Problem with him to me is he does LMH on block, and it doesn't matter if it's the best player in the world or like the worst. I'm guessing. Like the way Hop works and like how you interact with it, I've never felt so stupid trying to deal with someone jumping in a game. If you're committed to dealing with Hop, you're probably going to get hit by cross-up slash or not be able to check the stance dash. When he hops and then I try to hit him, he just vanishes from the screen. That to me is way more annoying than his 2H or than his like anything else. I think the only people who really care about the 2H nerf is like Yasuo players for their combos, not even neutral. I think just for their combos, and Ahri players. It doesn't even make him worse in like a meaningful way. It just is like a little bit more annoying. Also, despite all the nerfs to his damage, he still is one of the highest damaging characters in the game. His normal routes and his consistency on hits and like how he can limit strike is still some of the best in the game.
Like I can't keep up with this. I play Yasuo. What I prefer
it's because he can't do combos also.
Right? This guide was made 2 years ago. Actually, probably like 2.5 years ago. You go to the combo section, every combo still works. It's not her optimal combos anymore.
The basic Yasuo combos all still work. It's like the more advanced ones
add additional combos
that don't work.
Right? The idea of a game being patched every 5 weeks is actually really exciting. It means they can be closer to the meta. They can make a lot of smaller adjustments. But right now, based on my experience, they're gonna change the combos for my team every single patch.
Yeah, it's really only a Yasuo combo. I'm not gonna lie to you. Or a Yasuo problem.
They only
I'm not gonna lie to you.
on the bright side, new Yasuo bugs that buff them every 5 weeks.
Yeah, dude.
Okay, I think they prioritize the wrong bugs. Teemo, bug fix. I absolutely hate this change. They bug fix Teemo's parachute, slow fall, so no longer
Warwick has this with
tags out.
his wall
What is the
also.
point of changing this? Right, there's literally game-breaking bugs in this game. If I'm gonna tag in at Teemo, why would I do parachute when I could just do this? Why would I do parachute?
My guess to why these are the bugs that got fixed, by the way, is that they were just like easier fixes than like all the other stuff, right? Like they know about all these bugs, but they're probably just more complicated. Because I asked them about stuff and they're just like, yeah, we know about all of these bugs.
Something I think people
but like they're
just,
they just take more work to get done.
This is me fighting Cloud. I clipped this from Cloud's stream.
Oh yeah, they fixed this.
He fucks up. He does get up attack. He rewinds and he kills me.
Yeah, Apology Man hit me with that one.
They took this out, and I disagree with it. This barely impacts balance, right? This is
a really situational thing, yeah.
This doesn't impact balance, right? It's just a cool thing.
Apology
that
Man
the
hit me
character
with
can
that
do
one.
every once in a while, right? Cool if you're echo, but it doesn't impact balance. This situation never comes up. If all you do is nerf, like again, this is pretty much a nerf patch. The last patch was pretty much a nerf patch. For every buff that a character got in this patch, there's like 5 nerfs. I wish Riot would buff a little bit more and nerf a little bit less. Not that I don't think these nerfs were needed. I think all of these nerfs were good. I would just like to see them bring up some of the lower tiers as well. Give them like some cool options, right?
I mean, I think for some of them, they probably plan to, right? Like Braum, they say nothing for now, which makes me think they might have something in mind for later. Yeah, Zondo, Warwick's a weird character though. I had the same problem. My first impression of Warwick was not very high, and it's because I tried to play the character. And eventually, I just stopped trying to do all of the other stuff with the character, and I literally just only hit 5M and overhead, and my opinion of the character like skyrocketed. Would they ever want to change the kit to make him do more things? Like maybe they would want to that, but maybe the point of him is that he is very simple and like very straightforward, and like that's all he does. I like playing him because I like Warwick, the character from League of Legends, and I think that he is a good character if you don't want your opponents to play the game. He can just turtle up and just hit his normals and just stop you from getting in. And then my other character is more complicated anyway, so that's fine.
So this is all the tournaments for first impact that have pot bonus, right? Is someone seriously at Riot telling me that like Braum is okay?
He got Braum nerfed by
Blitz are,
mashing
like, a
command
strong
grab.
character at low
It's
level.
his fault.
So what you can't do is you can't just be like, all right, what we're gonna do, we're just
Yeah,
gonna make
it is-
Braum do double damage, right? Because at low level, he's gonna be too dominant. And
Yeah,
I
he
think
already
this
is
the
probably
argument
too
they're
good at
making.
low
It's
level.
just you have a lot of moves that are used for like combos, and maybe this could be used as like a projectile reflect. Maybe this could be like leave him closer. It's +7, but like you're basically out of range to do anything meaningful. It is 25 frames. They compare this on reaction. Maybe make like these shield cancels like better, so you could do like cool block strings. I don't know. Yeah, super cancel off shield. That's a great one. That's not gonna affect low level.
Shield cancel into the
You
armor
have to like
super.
use that and
Bro, that shit would be so fucked. If he could just hold shield and then armor super. I'm like the fucking war meme, like the guy with the helmet, like just fucking sing. I'm like, bro, everything he just suggested sounds evil as fuck.
It feels worse to play a worse character, but like at least you
Feels
can
better for
sweeten it a
me,
little bit
smile.
by-
The thing about compensation, this is an interesting point. I think Yasuo will need compensation maybe if they actually eventually nerf the good stuff about him. But they just really haven't nerfed a lot of the good stuff, so I don't know that he needs it necessarily. A good example of this is like, you know how they nerfed Ed in Street Fighter 6? He's one of the best characters in the game still, but they like nerfed his corner control and his like auto flicker stuff that was bullshit, and then they gave him better routes. So they're like, okay, now he has to spend more resources to get the same kind of corner position that he used to, but we're gonna give him like better combos from on every position on the screen, so he has some more new fun stuff to mess with. And like those combos ended up being huge, and that kind of stuff I think is nice. I think for Yasuo, he probably will need this if they do nerf him in a serious way. I think Echo's nerfs, as an example, were much closer to the problems of the character has. Like hitting Time Winder is like a more committal option, which means you need to use assist or other thing to cover it more, which means he needs to spend resources where he didn't before. And that's good. It's much better than like he just throws Time Winder and is safe all the time, right? Like it makes more sense for Echo to have good mix-ups, but he needs to go in and commit his body to mid-range to fight against you to get his good mix-ups. The other thing I would like them to nerf about Echo is up back Helmbreaker. I like him being a fast mix-up character up close. I like him having good movement and normals. I don't really like that he can disengage like that so strongly. I think that is too good probably. But the rest of his kit I think is in a really good spot. I can feel the difference in power level from him from patch to patch much greater than when I play Yasuo, and I feel like I'm basically playing the same character 90% of the time. I don't know what they're gonna do to him, but like I'm a little worried that he's gonna actually finally find his good nerfs. They're gonna find like what makes fighting against this character suck ass, and then immediately he'll be too weak and feel a lot worse because of all the other incremental small nerfs he's gotten along the way. I think my least favorite character to fight in the game by a lot is
Cool to
Yasuo.
play around with.
As someone who's also
All right,
played
this
him
is
in
gonna
most
be a hot
versions of the
take.
game.
So right here they talk about, to be clear, we think that healthy 2x KO meta includes teams with different play patterns and different win conditions, and we don't want to make a game where every team looks the same when they're winning. They want to balance stuff like freestyle mix and super tag.
You hate fighting
It's
Yasuo
very
more than
clear
Teemo?
Juggernaut
Yeah, I
and
think so.
Sidekick are
Even though Teemo's
complete
better.
trash. No competitive player is running Juggernaut or Sidekick. I don't think they should be the best because they're easy to play, but it's literally not even close. It's literally like a troll fuse.
Dude, let me tell you about Juggernaut. Box playing Juggernaut before they nerfed it, the way Juggernaut was before was maybe the worst play pattern I think the game has ever had, which is the round starts, you fling yourself at your opponent, you get hit, you always have burst, you burst, and then you run at them and either you hit them and instantly kill them, or you don't hit them and you lose. And Box learned one combo with Bai that's not even our optimal combo, but it would just TOD everyone because of Fury Juggernaut. And then he was like, man, it kind of sucks that in this game you just learn one combo and everybody dies in one hit. Like there's not even really any fun stuff to learn. Like you just learn one thing and you die. And I'm like, you're playing Juggernaut with Fury. Sidekick I think has some shit actually. I think it's a little underexplored, but I think the real thing is flying two characters is the fun in the game for most people. And it just, a handshake tag is so powerful that you got to make the other fuses really, really, really strong to get around it. I also think that at lower levels from all the stuff that I watched, Juggernaut is quite good. If they're
Literally not even
viable
close.
at competitive
Modern's
play,
a
they're
great
probably
example.
broken at
How
every
many
other
modern
level play.
players-
Juggernaut is
But
brutal for new
they
players, I
terrible.
think.
Yeah, Skullgirls is a great example. You look at a random Skullgirls tournament, and the vast.
Have y'all fought against solo characters in Skullgirls? It was my least favorite thing about playing the game. I really did not like it. I really did not like hitting them like 12 times, and then they like did an invincible super on my reset or something, and then my character just died.
But there's at least some competitive viability in solo. It's not the best. Pretty much all the big tournaments.
Wing
are
Zero
won by
played
2 or
solo
3
affiliate.
characters. But at least it's viable. At least you can get into a top 8 of a tournament. If I had a gun to my head and they said you have to win TNS with Juggernaut, you can pick any character, I'm dead. I'm dead next week, bro. How would you buff Juggernaut that doesn't impact low level? You could make parry better, right? You could make it so Juggernaut parry, I don't know.
He hasn't seen box play, bro.
You could make it so, I don't know. I doubt the beginners are using snapback. You can make snapback better. Maybe it does more damage. There's ways to buff things that
Fury is so fucked up at low level, I think.
This is the other main complaint I've heard of the patch strategy, but from Riot. I'm sure I could just search up Leffin's Twitter or something. Generally, me and Leffen are pretty aligned, right?
Scary sentence to say out loud.
Good balance changes. Having to really learn B&Bs for something insignificant is really bad. I didn't even talk about this. The fact that we know Teemo is being nerfed, but we don't know when is like really cringe, right? Because if I play him and then he just gets nerfed in 2 weeks, and then I have a big tournament in 3 weeks, I basically trolled.
What I'll say about this is I would much rather them tell us, hey, this stuff is unintended, than like not say anything. The patch comes out and it's like, yo, guess what? All this shit, it was not intended this whole time, and then they nerf everything. You know what I mean? So it's either they tell you it's unintentional or they don't tell you, and then when the patch comes out, they're gonna have to do it anyway. Does it suck to lose the bugs? Yeah, but like this game will change constantly, and my thought on it is you basically just have to play the version of the game that is out. And you can strategize around playing different versions and stuff, but like you kind of just have to accept that the version that's out is what it is. And when they change the character, he will change. You don't know what they're gonna change about any character, because like what if they buff Vi to be the best character in the game and you're like, oh shit, I didn't know this. I could have been learning Vi, right? Like in the same thread. You at least have some kind of like awareness that the thing that you're doing that's going to go away is not going away for a bad reason. It's like it's going away for a legitimate reason, like it's not intended. And every ranked match, okay, so I wasn't doing any of the bug stuff because I was like, I don't want to do any of the bug stuff. Like I'm not playing Teemo anymore because he has so many bugs or whatever, right? And then every Teemo I play does all the bugs. Every Yasuo player I play do all the fucking bugs, like all the S1 super and S2 super. They just do everything that's bugged. And I was like, all right, fine. So I play Warwick. I'm doing the combos that are not intentional. I'm like, yep, this is the version of the game. Next version, I'll just do the different combos. Like I'll play the game as it currently is, and then the next patch when things are fixed, then I'll do the fixed version. I'm fighting Inzem. He's not gonna not do the good Teemo combos because, you know, he's the best Teemo. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm not gonna not do my good Warwick combos that are broken right now. Like I'll just do the same thing.
Yeah, I'd say overall, I actually think it's a pretty good patch. Like
Man, that's funny. They already said, yo, we're gonna fucking change the game a lot right now, and then later on we'll slow down. So like I kind of expect the game to change a lot. I just took them at their word, and the game is changing a lot. Yeah, I mean the patch culture around Tuco is, I think, far better in terms of communication and like their plans, like what they're telling you, than most other games. The problem with the other games is they're like just not saying what's going on most of the time, or not patching very often for people's preferences. In the case of Street Fighter as an example though, what do you do if the way they're patching is what they want the game to be? If you're like, Street Fighter's not changing all the stuff that's wrong with it, what do you do if the devs are like, we don't agree with you that this is the stuff that's wrong with it, we like the way the game is supposed to be? What if Street Fighter's like, all right, new patch comes out, like we'll nerf Mai a bit, we'll nerf Ryu a bit, give some buffs to this character, and then that's it? Like they don't communicate much with what their plans are, but they also, I think, are pretty confident in what they want to do with the game. And I think inevitably people here have to realize like this is what they want the game to be, and the game's really popular. So like it, you know, clearly people like it. And Street Fighter patches so far have not been gigantic shakeups. You guys remember when Valorant was new, the game changed a lot quite often, right? They'd be like, all right, this character's util is more expensive, or they get more charges or less charges, or whatever. They like changed the game a lot. After a bit of time, they basically landed everything, and then the gameplay changes patch to patch in that game are so small. Like I came back like after not playing for a year, there's new agents and almost nothing is different sometimes. They just did a big patch actually, but you know, like it's going to trend towards that after some time, in the sense that like in the beginning there'll be a lot of changes, then it'll just be like, all right, add new characters, adjust them as needed, adjust, you know, whatever, and then just add new system stuff or add new skin stages, that kind of stuff. But it doesn't need that. Even if you add one new fuse, it could change the game dramatically, because so many characters that maybe didn't work well together before might work better, or teams might swap to this new fuse. It might be really good. It might make some teams viable. It might make some teams that are good like insane. You know, it could just change the game a lot. So there's a lot of levers to pull in that sense. And I don't expect the game to change a lot in terms of like after they land everything. But in the beginning, changing a lot of stuff makes sense to me. I get where he's coming from because this is the patch day basically, right? So he was learning all his new patch combos and he was probably pissed. But yeah, the way they're communicating stuff and planning their patches makes a lot of sense to me compared to other games. Yeah, I think console release will be a huge deal. I think a pretty large amount of their player base is probably console, waiting for the console release, given the fact that every post they make is people being like, where the fuck is console? This Tom post here where he mentions like, these are all the things that we want to do for early access. Once we get all of the above in great shape, we'll be ready to leave early access and for the official launch of a fully armed and operational 2XKO. And they say console here. Season 0, they say is the end of 2025, right? So season 1 kicks off with console most likely and the new character and whatever their balance is. I'm already surprised that console is not out. I wonder what was the holdup for getting it out. I got 2 cats here. He doesn't care what you do. Teo's pretty chill. He doesn't mind. Whatever, you do whatever, he doesn't mind. But I figured he'd want to play with this ribbon, so that's why I did it.